Guys, time for another video. If you're watching it, I guess there must be a test coming up tomorrow, but I'm here to get you through it. What we're doing now is something called dimensional analysis, often referred to as the factor label method. All this is a way to go between units. In this example, we're trying to get from 3.42 miles and express that in inches. Now, it's important to realize that you're not actually changing value when you do this. Give you an example. If I have $152, that is the exact same thing as having 15,200 pennies. Okay? There's no difference between these two numbers right here. It's just much more convenient to group it into dollars as opposed to pennies. It's a smaller number. It's something that we can work with. But sometimes we do need to know how many of the smaller unit are there when you're given the bigger number. And this is what this first example is about. We are given 3.42 miles, and we want to know how many smaller inches are in there. Well, in order to do that, you've kind of got to find a way to bridge miles all the way to inches. You have to find things that you know about miles and how they break down, and how those things in turn break down into inches. So I've got some conversion factors up here, and we can see this one right here tells us that 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. Well, I've broken the mile down a little bit, and I found out feet. Well, what do I know about feet and inches? I know also that 1 foot, that's going to be equal to 12 inches. So now I've got two facts that include the units and bridge me all the way from miles to inches. So the way that you work these is you always start with what's given. I'm presented with 3.42 miles, and that's what I'm going to start with. We make this little railroad track, this little crisscross grid right here. And the most important thing to remember is that, like, if I had x times y and I wanted to have just y, well, I'd need to divide out the x, and that would leave me with just the y. It works the same way right here. I'm in miles, but I don't want miles, so I need to go ahead and have miles at the bottom, because top bottom means divide like this, and that'll get rid of the unit that I don't want. So taking a look at the conversion factors, I see that 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. So I just plug that in. 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. And like we wanted, the miles will cancel, just as they did in the xy over x. So at this stage, if I work this problem out, it would tell me how many feet are in 3.42 miles, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for how many inches are actually in 3.42 miles. So I need to continue another step. I have feet as a unit right now, but I don't want them, so I need to make sure that I can cancel them. So you always have your units diagonal to each other so they will cancel. In my conversion factor, I see that 1 foot, that is equal to 12 inches. Canceled the unit that I don't want. And as soon as the unit that you are left with matches the unit that you were looking for, you are ready to solve this thing. So time to just go ahead and get the calculator ready, and we can see that anything across the top is going to be a multiplication, and anything at the bottom will be a division. Well, all the numbers at the top, all the numbers are at the top, so we will multiply everything here. So it's 3.42 times the 5280 times 12 inches, and the calculator returns the number 216,691.2. Well, we do need to keep in mind significant figures here. As we learned before, anything that is a conversion factor, anything that is equal to something exactly, those are said to have an infinite number of significant figures. So this won't limit our answer. The only thing that really has any bearing on the number of significant figures in our final answer would be the number that you started with, 3.42. That had 3 significant figures. So 216,691 rounded to just 3 significant figures. This would be written as 2.17 times 10 to the 5th inches. Okay. Let's take a look at another example. Okay. This time we have 42 ounces and we want to go ahead and convert this to gallons. So again, we've got to find a way to get from ounces all the way to gallons. We need that bridge, and we don't have anything that tells us exactly ounces to gallons, so we've kind of got to take a look at the different things and see which ones will get us there. Well, I see ounces here, and that gets me to pints, so that's going to be the starting place right there. Well, I need to get to gallons. I know that 4 quarts are in a gallon, so that's another factor I can take advantage of, but can I get between pints and quarts? And if I look at this one right here, I have a way to now get from pints to quarts. So I start off with what's given, 42 ounces. Okay. I have to be able to cancel out the unit I don't want. So the first one I'm going to plug in out of the 3 of these is the one that has ounces in it. And I'm going to make sure that my ounces go at the bottom. The other part of the 1 pint will go up top. Canceling out the unit we don't want. We're now in pints. So I have to select the pint part of another conversion factor to go down here. Well, the only thing that has pints in it would be the 2 pints and 1 quart. So got to make sure I can cancel. My 2 pints will go at the bottom, leaving 1 quart up top. Cancel out the units that'll cancel. Now I'm in quarts. Okay. Well, a little bit closer, I have one more conversion factor that will tell me that there are 4 quarts in 1 gallon. So make sure I put the quarts part where it'll cancel at the bottom, and then 1 gallon up top. Canceling out the unit I don't want. Once the unit you have remaining matches the unit you were looking for, you are ready to solve the problem. Well, this time we can see that we have one number at the top and the remaining numbers are at the bottom. Okay, so what we do when we have a number at the bottom, start with the 42, that's a division problem. So divided by 16. The next number we come to is going to be at the bottom also. So anything at the bottom you hit divided by before. Divided by 2. And then the next number is also at the bottom, so that's another divided by 4. We hit enter. Calculator tells us this number right here. We just have to put it in the correct number of significant figures. In this case, there were 2 significant figures in the initial value, so we have to round this to 2 significant figures. This would be 0.33 gallons.